as did augment upgrades to various perks and field equipment, such as scatter mines and the enhanced melee abilities when surrounded in close combat scenarios. The difficulty does ramp up as you progress. I noticed I was being downed frequently by mobs of enemies surrounding me as we advanced into higher rounds. Mutated parasites will be a problem if not taken down quickly. And I really needed to start using more strategy and communication with my teammates versus simply running and gunning, as I expect most new players will be inclined to do on initial play sessions. There are a lot of features being packed into Zombies this year, from exploring the island of Terminus, utilizing the Gobblegums, taking advantage of the augment upgrades, customizing my weapons and zombie builds, to using the wonder weapons to take down hordes of enemies. And this doesn't even include things I haven't mentioned yet, like global omni movement or the second map of Liberty Falls, which Treyarch promises to share more about in the coming weeks. Black Ops 6 is shaping up to be one of the most fully fleshed out examples of the mode that Treyarch first introduced in Call of Duty World at War 16 years ago, and I'm genuinely looking forward to playing more of it when Black Ops 6 drops this fall. And for more information on Call of Duty Black Ops 6, stay tuned to IGN.
I don't feel so good.
There are plenty of gaming options
What
for
the
those
fuck?
looking to venture into a galaxy far, far away. Whether you want
Is
to
that
play as a
Anakin
heroic
killing a
Jedi,
youngling?
a boots-on-the-ground clone trooper, or even as a deadly bounty hunter. But while games like Battlefront have provided countless hours of great toy box-like fun, what if I told you that there's something even more exciting? A dream Star Wars game you've never played.
Oh, that'd be sick.
This is Star Wars Movie Dolls, an in-progress, free-to-download mod for Jedi Academy. It aims to recreate nearly every iconic lightsaber battle from Star Wars history, all the way from the Phantom Menace to the Rise of Skywalker,
What?
and nearly everything in between. While that goal is undoubtedly the most exciting part of Movie Dolls, this mod also features many quality of life improvements, including, but not limited to, an expanded combat system that allows for manual blocking, the ability to sprint and dash, which when it comes to dueling is a huge game changer. Complete
Shit.
camera customization with presets that replicate
Oh,
the
I might
styles
have to
of the
hook
Knights
this
of the
game
Old
up and
Republic,
try it out.
Battlefront, and more.
That looks
and
sick.
unique saber stances depending on who
Carson's
you play
not
as.
gonna
All of
like
that
this.
and more is wrapped up in a
Star
mod that
Wars.
allows you to play through some of Star Wars' most nail-biting fights. Want to take on Qui-Gon Jinn as Darth Maul, complete with a terrified little Annie? Now you can.
Qui-Gon, sir, wait, I'm tired.
Anakin, drop! Go! Tell them to take off!
In the mood to slaughter hallways worth of rebel scum? Don't sweat it, because your Rogue One fantasies of being Lord Vader are now a possibility. There are over 20 custom-made missions to choose from, and if none of those tickle your midichlorians, the Movie Dolls team have also set about recreating fan-favorite moments from games past, all thanks to an expansion pack. That's right, Movie Dolls also has its own DLC of sorts. Don't worry, it's free, and it's named Tales of the Galaxy, which focuses on remaking the highlights of Kyle Katarn's adventures throughout Dark Forces 2. If that isn't enough, there's also a mini-campaign of sorts, based on the Force Unleashed. Much like the original game, you take control of Starkiller as he rampages through the galaxy, defeating Vader's many foes. For Movie Dolls, however, all that isn't quite enough. Yes, this is one of the most absurdly feature-packed mods we've seen in some time. There's also plenty of other ways to brush up on your lightsaber skills, such as a rather robust challenge mode. You'll go head-to-head against the likes of Luke Skywalker in the Jedi Temple, Old Man Kenobi, and even Star Wars deep cuts like Sin Dralig and Serra Keto, a duo you might remember from the game adaptation of Revenge of the Sith, along with many others, all of which take place in their own thematic fields of battle. Once you've mastered that, you might decide to step into MD's 4 unique challenge arenas. Each focuses on a different environment and enemy type.
I don't feel so good.
Oh my god.
The
What?
standout amongst the four is the Theed power generator, which throws
messed
random
up.
enemies at you. There's every
You can
chance
do the-
you can
oh,
face an
Jar Jar
absolutely
split him in
bonkers
half.
trio,
What?
such as a Kylo Ren, General
gotta
Hux,
try
and
this game
Royal
out.
Combat Guard, whilst also playing as Ben Solo. It's not meant to make sense. If you're just looking to revisit the glory days of Raven Software's campaigns of old, don't worry, because Movie Duels is fully compatible with both Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy campaigns. Alongside the odd gameplay enhancement here and there, it's in these iconic Star Wars campaigns that the toy box can truly spill over. Both allow you to replace Kyle Katarn or Jaden Korr with over 100 playable characters from the Age of the Republic, Empire, Resistance, or Legends. Some of those characters even feature multiple skins, such as a Mustafar worn Obi-Wan variant, or a
What?
personal favorite of mine, a General Kenobi skin inspired by the Clone Wars 2D animation. Replaying my favorite Jedi Outcast missions as Mace Windu, taking on the deadly reborn Dark Jedi, or controlling Boba Fett through Jedi Academy is extremely cathartic. And having the option to spawn in whoever I please, whether that be friend or foe, due to the brand new NPC spawn menu, makes replaying these classics a wholly new experience that only goes to extend their shelf life on my digital library even longer.
Fuck, I gotta
Beyond
get
the
this shit.
sentimental value, MD also allows room to just experiment,
Alright,
and more
hook me up.
importantly, get silly with it. Want to challenge 5 Jedi younglings against Lord Sidious? Well, another Lord Sidious watches on in the background? Well,
Oh,
you can do
fuck.
just that, and the outcome to such a fight is more surprising than you think. Have a watch. There is so much more to discover and mess around with in Movie Duels, but for now, I'll just allow the gameplay to speak for itself. Enjoy.
Boba, get on board!
Wow.
Look what has become of you. A rat in the desert.
Look what I have risen above.
I've come to kill you, but perhaps it's worse to leave you here, festering in your squalor.
If you define yourself by your power to take life, your desire to dominate,
Who did the
to possess,
voices?
then you have nothing.
Why come to this place? Not simply to hide. Oh, you have a purpose here. Perhaps you are protecting something. No. Protecting someone.
Oh shit. That's cool. Fight Darren Asia is like an episode of Dragon Ball Z. Wow. Amazing. I gotta get this. Oh well. No way.
You disappoint me!
Damn.
Always remember, your focus determines your reality. That is the sound of 1,000 terrible things heading this way. I've encountered divergence in the Force.
You underestimate the power of the dark side. If you will not fight, then you will meet your destiny.
Don't lose him.
Welcome to a day in the life of a Jedi. Be careful, Kyle.
Careful, Kyle.
I will not turn. You will be forced to kill me.
I'm so good. Why don't you give up? Why don't you give up? Why even bother? You're not worth my anger. Get out of my head.
Oh, I love Star Wars. Fuck yeah. That's just awesome. I gotta try this mod out. That looks cool. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
Jesus. Oh my god, no way. No way. They have to slaughter the younglings in this game. Damn. That's crazy, bro. Fuck. If you and Delson, they should check this game out. It looks sick. Oh.
For more from Star Wars, make sure to watch our gameplay video on the most violent Star Wars mod ever made. And for everything else, you're already in the right place with IGN.
Dang. Phew. Shit.
Jumping headfirst into Mecha Break's chaotic, frenzied combat is overwhelming at first. That's partially because its presentation is dizzyingly stylish, with flashing neon beams and blisteringly fast mecha screaming through the sky as you and your teammates do your best to capture a king of the hill-like objective or push a payload. The chaos amps up the energy and tension of each skirmish, and certain bots, like my favorite, the Falcon, have additional abilities to help kick up the speed of a match even further. Mecha Break showed lots of promise during my last hands-on preview in January, and now, after a few more hours of hands-on time with the multiplayer mech shooter in its open beta, I've had the opportunity to experiment with more of Mecha Break's arsenal of mecha, as well as get a better feel for its modes and controls. And I'm still highly impressed with its arena shooter-style gameplay and how good it looks.
Oh, sweet! A Pyrogenesis Striker! Yeah! Aleseness initiated. Mind projection system activated.
While my go-to mech is good for jetting around above the battlefield, laying suppressing fire and stacking up assists, it's kind of a glass cannon. That's where something like the Tricera comes in. New in this beta, this tanky terror is appropriately named after the armored dinosaur. It may be slow and less maneuverable than Falcon, but what it lacks in speed and mobility, it makes up for in raw firepower with its twin Gatling guns, overhead cannon, and beefy shields. Each mecha truly feels and plays differently, and I loved swapping between them from match to match. Even the act of unlocking new mecha is really cool. Instead of just gaining a new selection in your pre-match lobby, unlocking a mech using one of two in-game currencies I encountered triggers a really flashy cutscene, flexing Mecha Break's stellar mecha design while showcasing some of the new chassis' capabilities. It does remind me a bit of unlocking a new playable character in a gacha game, which points to some potentially concerning monetization practices. Emphasizing my concerns, Mecha Break appears to have something resembling a battle pass, complete with premium and free tiers along with a premium currency. Everything I saw in the beta was free, and most of the apparently premium unlockables I found were cosmetic, with only one mecha being gated behind battle pass progression. But just as gameplay in a game's beta might not reflect the final version at launch, monetization and in-game mecha or currency prices might not be final either. The looming threat of aggressive monetization tactics aside, I had lots of fun with this beta, even if I had some trouble shaking off my rust after a few months. After a match or two spent grappling with its controls thanks to an unfortunately scant tutorial, I was eventually able to get back up to snuff with Mecha Break's fast-paced gameplay. As I unlocked and tried out more and more mecha, things started to fall back into place.
Eyes on this target.
Its half-baked tutorial, which doesn't seem like it's changed or improved much since my last preview, left me with more questions about the starter mecha's abilities. This was even more frustrating given the fact that you can take any mecha into a firing range of sorts to test out its abilities from the main menu after completing the tutorial, which was a much easier way to learn each machine's strengths and weaknesses free from the introductory level's dissociative chaos. It doesn't help that the tutorial begins abruptly, seemingly in the middle of a story without any context, and doesn't have any bearing on the rest of what I saw in the beta. Backed by flat, generic dialogue trying to squeeze story and plot into a place where it doesn't make much sense, the tutorial, where you essentially march forward shooting spongy enemies before taking on a titanic boss mech, felt like an entirely different game compared to its high-energy multiplayer, which I couldn't put down. The modes I saw all followed pretty standard objective-based modes you'd find in any team shooter. I escorted payloads and captured objectives and had lots of fun doing it thanks to Mecha Break's combat, which is easily the star of the show. By catering to different playstyles and power sets, each mecha felt distinct and natural within its suite of abilities. Equipped with a diverse mix of melee and ranged attacks and helpful abilities like cloaking or shields, I found something to enjoy in every match I played, not just ones where I got to play as the mecha I was best or most comfortable with. While this beta doesn't add too much new content on top of what I've already seen in previous versions, it did cement my excitement for Mecha Break's eventual launch thanks to its polished gameplay and visual style. But it also left me more wary about its other modes, which are still gated off, and its monetization structures. Let's hope my worst fears about those don't come to pass. For more on Mecha Break, check out the release window trailer as well as the Mecha Design concept trailer. And for everything else in the world of video games, stick with IGN.
There's been a big push for cloud from Xbox, with the latest advertisements being for an all-in-one bundle that contains the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and a controller. With this new partnership, we wanted to take a look at the latest mega company to get in on the big push for cloud streaming that Microsoft has been championing, and see how it stacks up against the other big provider in this sector, Samsung. Since 2022, Xbox and Samsung have been partnering together to offer the Xbox Cloud Gaming service built directly into select Samsung televisions, including the Samsung QN90B that we'll be using for testing purposes today. Can the Amazon Fire TV Stick stack up? Let's find out. First, let's go through the setup process for the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K as we experienced it for the first time. Step 1, unbox everything that comes in the box. Step 2, unwrap everything and plug the USB cable into the power supply. Also, remember to include the dongle in the shot this time. Step 3, plug the HDMI into your device. I'm using my HDMI hub here for demonstration purposes only. My Fire TV Stick will be directly plugged into the back of the TV without any dongle attached. Step 4, turn on your TV. Step 5, choose a language. Step 6, set up your network. Step 7, enter your network password. Step 8, download the latest software. Step 9, update. Step 10, download the latest software. Step 11, update. Step 12, download the latest software. Step 13, update. And no, I'm not kidding, I actually had to do this many times. Step 14, sign in and press continue. Step 15, set up your remote. Step 16, skip the next 4 steps because it seems like ads, and you can download your streaming services later. Step 17, choose whether or not to use parental controls. Step 18, skip signing up your email for more spam. Step 19, press got it. Step 20, sign in again. Step 21, search for the Xbox app and install it. Once the Xbox app is installed, you'll need to update your Fire TV device again. So step 23, download the latest software and then update it. Step 24, download the latest software and then install and update. Step 25, download the latest software and then install and update. Step 26, download the latest software and then install and update. I wish I was kidding. I'm not. You really have to do it this many times. Step 27, once that's done, download the latest software and update one more time. Step 28, and now you're good to go. Just sign into the Xbox app and then pair your controller. It's fairly painless. And step 30, finally, be sure your television is set to game mode to continue. You are now ready to get gaming with the Xbox and Amazon Fire TV. And all it took was an easy 2 hours of setups and downloads to get going. Now, how do they stack up? Let's start with loading times. In all seriousness, now that I've spent a few days with both of these options, I have to admit that the fact that you're not playing on a console kind of fades away for certain games when they're running well. I have a very fast internet connection, and I kept a majority of my game time to a few titles: Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5, Doom Eternal, and Mass Effect Legendary Edition. All of these games started almost instantaneously. On the Amazon side, here's how loading times broke down. Halo Infinite took about 14 seconds to launch. Forza Horizon 5 took about 22 seconds to launch. Starfield took 15 seconds to launch, and that gives us an average time of about 17 seconds. On the Samsung side, here's how loading times broke down. Halo Infinite took 17 seconds to launch. Forza Horizon 5 took 19 seconds to launch. Starfield took 18 seconds to launch, and that gives us an average time of about 18 seconds. So while the average loading time based on 3 titles was only about 1 second apart, it's pretty clear that both of these services are bringing games up almost as fast as an actual console would when booting from a cold state. No downloads, no updates, you're just good to go. One of the smartest additions I've seen from Xbox in recent years on console was to include cloud streaming as an option to try out a game while it downloads in the background. The difference here being that you don't need the console at all and you're just into it almost instantaneously. But there is one big problem with this streaming device and all streaming devices, if I'm being honest. That problem is input latency. Input latency is the time it takes for a button you've pressed to go from your controller, travel through the Bluetooth airwaves, and come out as a signal on your television. This is what causes that feeling of disconnection with most streaming services, and while my findings indicate